back. You're watching Markets at Noon on ET Now. Let's introduce the management of Kec International. With Mr. Vimal Kejriwal joins us now on the show. He's the MD and CEO to talk about the numbers. It's been quite a steady quarter. You know, the T&D business seems to be getting back on track, but it's the non-T&D business that was especially, driving the growth. So, Mr. Kejriwal, thanks so much for joining us today on ET Now. There was a fall in demand for power equipment, EPC contracts, plus there was this whole general slowdown in capital investments. What is the recovery you've witnessed now?
Primarily on the back of growth in our civil and railway business. T&D business was flat, but we were able to maintain a flat revenue. Okay, so we are slowly seeing some traction coming back on the central side with some of the solar parks, etc. So large solar parks are coming up, and large T&D networks are being set up for that. But at the state level, we have seen some degrowth happening. So I think we'll have to wait for some more time on the electrical side to see a major growth.
Okay. What about your order book? I think it was at roughly a little under 20,000 crores as on the 30th of September, with L1 position at 3,500 crores. So, what's that looking like, and where are the bulk of the orders coming in from?
So roughly our order book plus L1 is 23,000 crores, as you mentioned, which is almost 2 years revenue for us. Bulk of our orders this year, we have announced orders of roughly 4,300 and odd crores. Most of it has come from the international T&D market. Middle East, Africa, East Asia, okay. Some part of revenue, some part of orders have come from the civil piece, but largely it has been the international market.
Right. When we just talk about, so how are things moving in? How would you say things are moving in after reopening? How are things looking in terms of demand? How is things going ahead? When we just talk about the reopen and now, how you would classify it versus the pre-COVID level?
So Pankaj, if you look at, let's say, the labor piece, which was the most talked about piece during the COVID era, and now we are back to our pre-COVID level. So we had around 30,000 people before the COVID broke out and went down to 50. Now we are back to 30,000. So on the labor front, the numbers are back. Obviously, they are not the same people. So quality training, reskilling and all is happening. Factories are working well. So factories, and I think the COVID in factories is fairly controlled. Okay. On the demand side, I already said India is a little bit lagging behind in demand, but Middle East and Africa and especially SAARC, Bangladesh, etc., we are seeing a large part of demand. What we have also done is that we have put a lot of emphasis on mechanization, digitalization, and automation to speed up the productivity and the quality, especially the productivity which was lost in the first quarter. I think we are glad that we were able to make up for the lost productivity, and we could deliver a 16% growth in this quarter.
Great. Mr. Kejriwal, thank you so much for joining us today on ET Now, and we wish you all the very best, when it comes to your recovery path, for Kec International. Thanks so much for joining in, sir.